Fairy Bell Secret. Lyra and Theron sat in the tall grass of the backyard, searching for secret treasures. Instead of old toys, they found a trail of shimmering dust leading toward the ancient oak tree. Rustle, snap, went the dry leaves as they crawled through the bushes. Lyra held her magnifying glass while Theron followed the trail, both hoping to find the hidden world they had always dreamed of. Look, a tiny door! Elara cheered, running over to join them. Theron reached out and touched a small golden key hidden in the moss. Creak, click, went the tiny hinges as the door in the tree trunk swung open. The three friends felt a warm, sweet-smelling breeze, and suddenly the garden began to glow with soft rainbow colors that flickered like candlelight. Suddenly, the garden transformed into a magical forest. Whoosh, sparkle! The old tree was gone, replaced by giant flowers and trees that reached for the stars. Lyra and Elara stepped onto a path made of soft, pink sand, gasping as they looked around. The sky was a swirl of violet and gold, and tiny lights danced in the air like happy fireflies. The path led them to a field of bouncy, polka-dotted mushrooms. Boing, boing, went the mushrooms as Lyra and Theron hopped from one to the other. The ground wasn't hard dirt, it was soft and felt like walking on giant marshmallows. The air smelled like vanilla cupcakes and morning dew, making them laugh with every jump. Elara joined Theron near a cluster of tall, glass-like flowers that hummed a soft tune. Tinkle, chime! The flowers changed color whenever they were touched. The Fairy Bell Secret is close, Elara whispered, pointing toward a bush of glowing blue roses. Two tiny, shimmering wings fluttered behind the petals, watching the children with a friendly, magical sparkle. A tiny person drifted forward, made of golden stardust and wearing a crown of petals. This was Loomis, the guardian of the fairy woods. He didn't speak with words. Instead, his giggles sounded like silver bells. Flutter, buzz! Loomis flew toward Lyra, his wings moving so fast they were just a blur of light. As Lyra held out her hand, Loomis landed softly on her finger, glowing a warm, happy orange. Theron realized the fairy bells were actually musical instruments. Loomis led him to a row of silver bells hanging from a willow tree. Cling, harmonic. When Theron tapped a bell with a twig, it rang with a beautiful, clear note. Loomis danced in the air to the music, his body flashing bright purple and teal with every sound Theron made. The sky turned a deep indigo, and giant bubbles began to float up from the ground. In the soft light, Elara and Loomis began to float inside a large, shimmering bubble. Whoosh, zip! They rose into the air, drifting over the flower tops, where gravity felt like a gentle hug. Elara laughed, feeling light as a feather, as she floated through the stardust with her new friend. The magic started to fade as the moon rose higher, and the friends knew it was time to go home. Loomis reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, glowing star gem, the Fairy Bell Secret. Thrum, glow. He flew to Lyra and placed the warm stone into her palm. It was a piece of fairyland to keep, a gift to remind them that magic is always nearby if you know where to look. Zap, pop! With a final sprinkle of dust, the backyard reappeared. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the grass. Lyra and Theron sat by the old oak tree, the tiny door now closed and hidden. Was it all a dream? Theron asked, rubbing his eyes. Lyra didn't say a word. She slowly opened her hand to show him the star gem, pulsing with a soft golden light. Elara sat on the porch with Lyra, watching the first stars appear in the evening sky. Whisper, hum. The garden was quiet, but the gem in Lyra's hand continued to sing its tiny, magical song. They weren't just kids in a backyard anymore. They were friends of the fairies. They knew that whenever they heard a bell ring, Loomis was saying hello from the other side of the tree.